The Harper contains foul language and adult material. If you are easily offended and thin-skinned, you should hit the stop button now. And if you are not a complete idiot, let's get this party started.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen. If I was informed correctly, the clock is ticking. Is that right, Jimmy?
But good luck arguing that in court. Let me get down to brass tacks.
Listen, let's get down to brass tacks here. How much for the 8?
Jack, let's just cut the crap and get down to brass tacks here.
Are you hating on Neil Diamond?
Holy fuck! Fuck Neil Diamond!
Our dream of death match is going to come to fruition, and my golden ticket is going to pay off. Those guys are man bitches that fake injuries left and right.
The shake weight. Fucking think like you jerking off.
I actually own the shake weight. Welcome to the Hopper, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right,
This is Jake, as with me, always my sidekick, Adam.
What's up, Jake?
Nothing, just waiting for my little fade in, good times coming along. There we are, here we go.
Woo!
Here we go. So, yes, we changed the intro a little bit. Neil Diamond is still fucking awesome.
Not.
So that's just the way that it's going to be. We figured that everybody got the message about hiking up their fucking panties. So we've weeded out the non-fucking hackers on that shit.
And I believe we've told everybody to fuck off enough.
Right. And in case you didn't hear it, yeah, I owned a fucking shake weight. Don't fucking judge me. Right? That's all there is fucking to it on that.
Hey, so that intro, we might change it up a little bit more, but that's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to get a little fun clips from the show.
Yeah.
And
we got a couple more that are going to go in there. Shit that we still love to go back and forth on a little bit.
Yeah.
So
that was kind of a rush job there, but we're gonna do it right next time. And
yeah.
And Jake and I both have some ideas. So
for those of you that are loyal listeners, I don't want you to be surprised.
But there's a name for those guys.
Yeah, the Hateful Eight.
Boom.
What's up, members of the Hateful Eight that are here? Those are our 8 consistent listeners. It's kind of become a running joke on the show.
That's right.
Next week, when we post our live show, when we post our recorded show on Friday, it's going to be a little bit different than what you're used to hearing. As you guys have listened over the last couple months, we've expanded on the gallows pole.
Expanded.
We've taken it from just people that we don't fucking like and that we think should die over to it being a full-blown show that is based on people that have actually met their end via the state that they're from. So
or should have, if not. So.
Right. So it's the true crime version of the way that we're going to do it. We don't do anything half-assed. We don't do the soft, cuddly version of stuff. It's raw. It's real. It's definitely going to be pretty detailed as far as what went on with the crimes, what went on with the executions.
Raw, real, live, and unedited, as usual.
As usual. So I'll probably miss a name here or there or have to correct myself. So after that show, if anybody can give us a little bit of feedback, we're looking for it. I know that a lot of people that enjoy podcasts listen to a lot of true crime. It's something that we listen to a lot. As I'm traveling for work, I listen to it all the time. And we have a little different take on it. I get tired of everything being just about appealing to the masses. There are certain people that like their true crime a little bit different. So
yeah, I like my true crime not read to me like a storybook.
Right.
That's just my personal take. I'm not huge into true crime. I do find it interesting because it is true stories, and I do like a good true story here and there.
Exactly.
Especially when okay, it's a true crime, so something is going to happen not well
sure.
at some point of this story. Mm-hmm. And you kind of know that going in.
Right. It's more of a discussion amongst friends, though. Imagine that you watch a documentary or something and you're discussing it with your friend. That's kind of more of what the show is going to be like. You actually get some insight into it to realize that maybe you're not the only one that looks at it the way that you do. We're pretty analytical as we go through it. So I look forward to hearing from you guys on that. Give us a follow. If anybody could give us a a review on Apple iTunes, that would be fantastic.
Yes.
The more of those we get, the further we move up the list to where we actually show up on things.
Right.
And maybe we can get some more people that are like-minded, intelligent human beings to hop in and give us something. So, as always, throughout the show, if you have some comments on what we're talking about, go ahead and don't be afraid to throw them out there.
Yeah, and I want you guys to all go to theharperguys.com. Once you're viewing our website, hit the follow button or subscribe, whichever one it is, or both.
Sure.
Do that because, we like to feel the love too. Like Jake said, did you say go to iTunes and give us a review?
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely do that.
So I just got a text from Brett because we go live all the way. Brett, one of our loyal followers, says, is there no chat tonight? And I am not aware that we can't chat. It looks like
Type something in the chat.
I can't because it's clear over on the other side of the room. So I'm not really sure. Is there a way to enable chat?
Is that what he said?
This is top chat. Let's go live chat. So we should be in live chat. If anybody posts anything, we should be able to see it pretty quickly. Do I need to 3-dot this thing?
No.
Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy, to abide by community guidelines. Blah, blah, blah.
Scroll down.
Scrolling.
No, it looks good, yo.
It looks like it should be on there. So somebody wants to throw out a hello, what's up going on, guys? Haven't seen this before to where chat wasn't enabled.
It looks good to me.
Kind of bizarre.
What did the 3 dots say? I didn't even look.
There wasn't really much in there. Manage moderations, participants, popular chat, toggle,
No.
send feedback.
No.
Nothing. So
I don't know.
not really sure why the chat's not on there, which we need the chat.
Yeah. Oh, well. You want to go over there and see if you can type something into the chat real quick?
Yeah, I'm actually going to. So you guys are going to get an up close and personal on me real quick here.
Don't hit the camera.
Adam, while I'm getting up and doing this, just give them a rundown of what our 3 topics are going to be for the evening.
Okay, so last live show, I think we might have bored you guys with our sports topics a little bit. This time we're definitely not. We do have a couple sports questions and ideas, but this is going to be a little bit more fun. Yeah, you just did an IGKL, but that works.
Yeah, I was just tapping some buttons at first, and then I just said hello all. So it looks like the chat's working. If anybody wants to shoot me a text, if it's not, again, that would be fantastic, just to make sure that we are that we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
Did you give them the 3 topics?
there we go. We're up. We're good. I think.
Yes.
I think Brett's got his chat turned off.
Nice. What's up, Bags?
So the 3 topics tonight are pro sports that shouldn't be, and then maybe some that should be.
Yeah.
So this. There could be some hilljack sports that are kind of like backwoods that you might think should be, and then there's probably some that I can just look at this list and tell you right now should not be a pro sport, or at least a I don't know.
And there's a couple on my list that should be more world-renowned. I think
Yeah.
you're going to fucking dig this shit.
Plus, we've got all mottos to live by and maybe not to live by.
Right.
And then lastly, we're going to kind of go back into a quick argument and tirade about robot umpires.
Right.
Do you agree
Right.
that this should be even a thing?
Right.
A lot of traditionalists would say no.
True.
But we're gonna jump into the pro sports that should not or should be.
So the question is, should they or shouldn't they be? And some of them are just funny, amazing things that I found that I didn't even know were sports. So the first question I have is NASCAR a sport? Should NASCAR be considered a sport?
Well, the endurance part is the only reason I would say yes.
I would agree with that. To me, it's just a heightened skill. I don't look at NASCAR as a sport.
I mean, could some of those guys get out and be extremely athletic? Probably.
Sure. I mean, there's some cool shit out there. I mean, that happens in NASCAR races. People flip and catch on fire and cool wrecks and fighters drivers that get into it and shit. But like to actually call that a sport, I don't know. I'm not big on motorsports being sports to me.
Yeah.
It's just because, I guess that they're some kind of athlete, but They're not what I consider to be my kind of athlete.
Yeah.
So that's just me. Gymnastics. Is gymnastics a sport?
I mean, it's an Olympic sport.
It's an Olympic sport, but should it even be a fucking sport?
They work their fucking asses off.
Nobody said they don't.
I'm going to say because of the athleticism, yes.
But it's all, to me, it's all judging.
Okay.
To where like I have a hard time calling that a sport.
Here's one
Okay.
that is a sport in Europe,
Yeah.
or maybe it's Australia. I don't know. I was looking at these quickly. Wife carrying.
Yeah. As a sport. I mean, I know they have like one big thing a year to where like the guy that wins, they get their wife's weight in beer or some shit.
Yeah.
Is what they get, right?
Yeah, and there's a full, I don't want to say federation, but like a
I mean, I don't know. Are you gonna go to wife carrying fucking league on Thursdays though? I mean, I don't know. Should that be an actual sport that people attend? And you know, are you gonna wear a Jimmy the Wife Carrier fucking fan club T-shirt? I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't know. I'll tell you one that probably might piss some people off. I don't think that cornhole should be a pro sport.
I have it on the list, and I agree completely. That is a fucking leisure sport of all leisure sports.
I mean,
It shouldn't be a pro fucking sport though.
we've had this conversation, and if I played enough cornhole, which
Yeah.
I love to play cornhole,
Sure.
but if I played enough that I was pro and I was getting sponsored and whatnot, that I should be able to get 3 of those 4 bags in the cornhole every fucking time.
Yeah.
And if my competitor is doing 3 to 4 in the hole, what is the fucking point?
I guess.
We're playing for a point here or there?
You're basically basing it just on imperfection at that point. If
on-
you're that good that you're a championship caliber team,
Now, if they're stretching these bitches back like 40 feet, then I'm like, all right,
yeah, like long distance quarters and shit.
yeah, that might be something. But straight up cornholing it,
That's not a fucking sport.
no.
I'm sorry. And to piggyback on the gymnastics, cheerleading and fucking figure skating, not sports. All voted on. It's all bullshit. Oh, your triple Lutz was worth 0.4 more points because of your stylistic integrity. Bleh, fuck that shit. The only reason that is even considered a little bit of sport is because it's in the Olympics, not cheerleading. That's not in the Olympics. But figure skating is, and it's something that we can root for America in. Other than that, fuck that shit. Stupid.
Here's one that I will completely give them their 2 seconds worth of fame. Have you ever seen the cheese rolling?
Hell yes.
Now, those guys risked their fucking life.
Hell yes.
I'm going to give that one to them.
But like, I feel like that is an actual fucking sport because there's a lot of skill that goes into it. To win this thing, you have to be an athlete. They have different age groups, gender groups, all different stuff like that. To where, hell yes, like I absolutely believe. I mean, if you're willing to risk breaking your leg over a fucking wheel of cheese, yeah, man.
When you first see this, it makes you laugh hard because you're like, look at these fucking morons.
Yeah.
But then you watch some of these guys, like you said, they're running and they're so out of control, but then they do this like this dive, this curl, and they're back on their feet.
Yeah. Or have you ever seen the guys that are like the guys who are the world champions? They've got this technique to where they almost like sit down while they're running downhill.
Yeah.
And it's impressive as hell to watch. I've watched it a couple times on ESPN. Thank God ESPN gives us everything in the world we could possibly ever need as far as sports go. But yes, I definitely think cheese rolling, definitely that is the case.
What's up, YouTube land? What's the strangest sport that you know of
Right.
that is or could possibly be
What's it-
removed from the list?
What's a strange cool sport or what's something that should not be called a fucking sport?
Here's one that I think should be removed. It's a skill thing, but shuffleboard, eh,
Do they have like a shuffleboard Hall of Fame? Like
I don't know. You're not going to believe some of these on here.
that's a real thing. Like there's professional shuffleboarding.
Yes.
Again, that's a game that you play with your friends. I mean, to call that a professional sport,
I mean, I guess if you're going to, you're going to defend this, and I will even defend it, but curling is a sport.
curling is most definitely
So
a
if
fucking
you're going to go
sport.
curling, why wouldn't you do,
Soccer. Agree. Soccer is definitely a sport. I mean, it should be. It shouldn't have the level of.
It's the last sport.
Man, I can't even get started on soccer.
I don't know.
That's a whole other show about how bad we hate soccer.
This is how bored people are.
If you're going to bring up curling, though, I got to tell you, check it out online. There's some videos on YouTube, which clearly you guys all
like
have access to.
curling.
Yeah. You want to know at the next level? We're America, right? To where we can't just half-ass it. The next level of curling, car curling. Have you seen this?
Now, this is dumb.
Dude, this is actually awesome as fuck. So this is like everything that NASCAR ever wanted to be, but not. So you're in your fucking car and you got to take off, right? You take off on a regular landing pad, and then when you hit the line, it becomes ice, and you got to lock that shit up to where your tires aren't fucking moving, and you're just sliding. So like they're all made, like these cars have like specific
So
brakes
you have to
that
know
lock
the
up.
speed that's about right.
Right, and you know how like you got the guys that are like pushing, to make it like fucking shake weight, man. I'm telling you, it always comes right back to you. They're on fucking four-wheelers that have like little fucking brushes on them to fucking control how much fucking shit's in there so that you can land your car where it's supposed to. It's fucking cool, man. Look it up. Car curling. It's a real fucking
Wait,
thing.
who's controlling the four-wheeler?
There's two guys, one on each four-wheeler that are controlling the ice that's in front of the car to make sure that you get the right speed to get
So
your
there's
car
a
where you want it.
driver on the four-wheeler and a guy with a broom?
Yes, and there's a driver in the car.
That's just
Dude,
asking,
you got to see it. It's
that's
fucking cool.
asking for trouble.
Right, exactly. But that's why if you're going to do it all the way.
Here's one you will not believe. There is actually, and I don't know how this could be a sport. This should definitely be taken off the list.
Okay.
Competitive knitting.
What? That's real?
They actually have celebrity competitive knitters. I mean,
So is it just to knit something so fast? Like you got to get 87 lines of a 3-hook pull or whatever their techniques are called.
the fact that it was on this list, I don't even want to know what they had to do.
Oh man,
The
you got to dig a little deeper on that shit.
competitive knitting.
Like that's ridiculous. You know, one that's near and dear to our heart, but I'm sorry, I can't look at it as a fucking sport, is poker. Poker is nothing but a game of intelligence, back and forth. There's nothing sporting about poker.
Or a game of luck.
However you want to call it. I mean, depending on how you play. But I'm just saying, to put poker on the list as a sport, to me, yes, it's on ESPN.
It's a card game.
It is. I mean, is there a fucking World Canasta Championship league that we can be a professional athlete in? I mean, I think that poker is one. As much as we love it, and as much
like
as it's a common game, it should be on
Backgammon.
there.
Backgammon's probably the same thing.
It's stupid. Now, maybe I'm going to piss some people off with this. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Should video games be considered a professional sport?
No.
Ignorant. I mean, I know that we've talked about this a little bit on the show before, but can you imagine? I can't watch anybody play video games. As a kid, all I wanted you to be done so I could have the fucking controller.
Yes.
It's my turn. I mean, whatever happened to participating in your life?
We grew
instead
up
of just watching somebody
We
else's.
grew up in a very impatient age, and I think that what is it? Blah, 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 blah. The retention for that is getting worse. Like
Yeah.
your people get distracted so much easier. I would imagine.
So you're saying the attention span is
Yeah, that's what I'm
getting worse.
looking for. Attention span is so much shorter,
Yeah.
but yet there are people that will watch these streamers
Yeah.
for hours.
Hours. So stupid.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. I have buzzed through a streamer, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. But then after about 10 minutes, I'm like, I gotta go play.
Right. Now, if it was something like we've discussed this movie before, Ready Player One. If you were able to watch like a real life, somebody actually participating in a life video game, like that's different.
Funny story.
Like it's enhanced, but I could at least give it a little bit of credit to.
For the third time, watched it again last night.
Did you really?
Yes.
Man, you
I
love that
actually,
movie, don't you?
My kids do, and I actually, when it's on, I'm like, gotta stop what I'm doing.
Yeah. So something that I would struggle to call a sport if it wasn't awesome is chess boxing. It's exactly what it sounds like. You are in a ring playing chess. Every time that you get somebody in check, boom!
So you gotta wait that whole time to get them in check?
It takes a little while, but yeah, once it gets started, like there are some of these guys that are like check, wham,
Wait.
wham.
Okay. So you put them in check, and then they have to put their hands down while you clobber them?
Yep. You put them in check, reach across the fucking table, jack them.
Oh, so you don't get to, like, stand up and get a good swing.
No.
It's just like, pow!
Right. But you imagine like you're in check in this game trying to come back in a game of chess and you're getting punched in the face. You move to block the check, they put you in check
This
again.
would be
Bam!
This would be one game I would not want to play with Brett Jackson.
And if you knock
He's
him
got
out,
the reach on me.
here's the motherfucker. The whole thing. If you throw a punch and you knock him out, you win. The game is over. It doesn't matter how bad you're losing the chess game.
Yeah.
If you can get them into check and you throw that punch,
I agree with Brett.
Brett says that's stupid. Watch one. Pull it up when we're done with the live show tonight and watch, and you'll be like, all right, you had me. Rabbit hole time. Fucking cool shit right there.
There's actually a rock, paper, scissors community, and they have, all this backing and everything. I don't believe it.
Do they play for slaps?
I don't know what they do.
You remember playing for slaps when you were a kid?
On the wrist?
Yeah, to where you rock, paper, scissors, and if you win, you lick the fingers down on the wrist. I mean, there's got to be a consequence. It's fucking rock, paper, scissors. You got 3 choices. How great can that tournament be to watch? Oh, he went rock! He went rock! Like, what the fuck? Like, that's stupid, man.
It's very
And then the people that win with scissors, like, I'm sorry. They've got to be part of a protected class. I'm not going to say which one. I'm just saying.
Saw this too. Beer pong. That's pro.
They got pro beer pong?
I saw them. They had cups on the table. They all were like red, white, and blue with the silhouette of the beer pong guy.
That's dumb.
It's crazy.
I can't even handle that. Now, one that I've actually played that I wish would gain a little bit of traction is foaling.
Foaling.
Yes. So you literally, it looks kind of like a cornhole setup, but you have 10 bowling pins like set up on a platform on each end, and you have a football. And you throw it at the pins at the other end. It's so much fun. There's actually a place and it's called a Foaling Alley up in Detroit. It's the only one that I know of. It's badass. It's another sport that you can drink while you're playing, and it's awesome.
So it's bowling, but you're throwing a football at the pins.
Yes.
And there's nothing blocking you?
No.
You don't have to get it through a ring first?
No. You just chuck it down there. Now, one of the other things that's cool is, so like if the ball bounces and it bounces off of you, that's like down on the other end, and then it hits the pins, they still count. If somebody's playing on a lane beside you and they throw an errant pass and it bounces and crashes into those pins going down, they still count.
Nice.
Right? So you get a little bit of anger going on with it in between people too. It's awesome. See? Brian agrees with me. That boy, Brian. No calls all day. My phone blows up when you guys start.
Boom, shakalaka.
Just
Everybody's calling to tell you to get on here.
forward them all the link, Brett. That's what you got to do. Whenever somebody texts you during this, forward them the link. That's all you got to do.
That's it.
That's where Brett's hanging out for tonight. There are some cool ones out there though that I got to admit I wish that they would catch on here. Have you seen the World Shin Kicking Championships? Dude,
Doesn't sound like a good time.
it's fucking horrific. You literally, hands on shoulders, both people across from each other, and it's not like I go, you go, I go, you go. You are both just kicking the shit out of each other's fucking legs. Dude, it looks like the most brutal. And what's funny is, again, they have
That fucking hurts.
Dude, they have male and female divisions. You want to talk about something that's hilarious yet hard to watch is when you get into like the Masters women's division. You got like 2 70-year-old women kicking the shit out of each other. You're like, a hip's going to go someplace here. It's fucking awesome. I mean, it's like, it's one of the great things I've ever found on fucking YouTube.
we must
Shin
be on,
kicking.
we must be on serious delay. Wife carrying. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. Wife carrying fucking, it blows. It's the stupidest thing.
Wait, where's Jake?
Did we lose Jake?
Where was Jake?
I don't know. Is it safe to watch the Harper on the road? I don't know.
No.
What do you mean?
Don't watch us on the road.
What, while you're driving?
Definitely not.
Well, I think that you can like run it through your Bluetooth on your car and listen to it. I mean,
He didn't say listen.
Well, I'm just saying.
He said watch.
I'm just saying that I would say yes as long as you're not actively watching the screen. That would be my vote.
Oh, he agrees with you, Jake. You're the Jake.
Yeah, I'm the Jake.
Yeah.
What agreed you? Oh, you thought he was agreeing with little Jake?
I thought so.
No. World's stupidest sport. Pretty sure this is mountain unicycling. They have a World Mountain Unicycling Championship. So instead of just taking a regular fucking off-road bike and trying to go through mountains, no, they do it on unicycles. It's dude, it's so stupid. Like you watch this stuff and it's like, who come up with this as a good idea?
Okay, here's one that looks really retarded.
Okay?
I didn't even really look at what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's a goal.
Yeah.
But they have adopted Quidditch from Harry Potter.
Right.
And there's a bunch of rings about shoulder height, and they have to throw these. They look like volleyballs through them, and I'm sure that you have to keep getting them through. Maybe you have to pass them to somebody, and then they finally go through the goal. I'm like, No.
Dude, that's straight ignorance. That's ignorance. Pissing
Now,
me
if
off.
you could fly around on a broom and catch a little thing and then make a goal, then I'd say, sure, you're good.
I think the only way that I could watch a game of Quidditch would be if it was like the players were like national rugby teams. Like, I would want to see death and destruction
All
in
right.
that game.
I've got a question for you.
Because there's no magic. The only magic is somebody getting knocked the fuck out.
I want to take this one off the sports list.
Okay.
Lacrosse.
Lax?
Now, here's why.
All right.
I don't fucking get it. I watch these guys, and I played in school, and they teach you real quick in regular elementary school. You get the ball in the net, and you have to dribble it like back and forth. It's a dribble. That's what they call it. And then at some point, you can stop dribbling, and you can shoot, you can pass, whatever.
Yeah.
But when you watch it, and I've only watched the college level. I don't know if there is a pro level, but this is just sport.
I think there is pro lacrosse.
Okay. These guys will dribble and then they'll just stop and they'll run and they'll throw. I'm like, are there no
Is
rules?
it just all traveling?
What is it?
I feel like it's one of those things that has made its way down through the ranks, but it used to just be like a douchey, highbrow, like it was up there with polo.
But like when I was in high school, kids would play lacrosse and for whatever reason, it was kind of a big deal, but
Yeah.
I never knew why.
Yeah. I don't know. Not my thing. I definitely.
So can we remove lacrosse off the list?
I mean, it's something where you participate and there's scores. Like
It's field hockey.
it is. I mean, it is. Even that though, field hockey. Jesus. Why don't you just play regular fucking hockey?
One sport I would love to add, because I think a lot of people would play
Yeah.
wiffle ball.
Wiffle ball.
Yeah, a pro wiffle ball league. Now you'd have to figure out all the rules and whatnot.
Dude, you'd never be able to hit the ball if they had good pitchers. Have you ever seen what you can do with a wiffle ball?
Okay, well then you could have your slow and your fast tossers, however you want. But yeah, no, I've seen. You know what? We actually there was I forget something at Roar when we were working. Not during the day, not during, but it was like an extended lunch. We got an extended lunch. It was a summer day. There was activities going on, and they brought wiffle ball out. And one of the guys, actually pressmen talking to you today in your office when I come by,
Yeah.
was out there pitching and throwing it like 40 miles an hour. And this thing's going, woo! I'm like, I really love wiffle ball. I'm ready to play some fucking, and I'm like, I'm not even stepping in. This is stupid.
Right.
I can't hit that.
Dude, it's incredible. Like, I don't know. I would play wiffle ball. There would have to just be some severe rules. And like I would have to have the fat red bat. You know, like I don't
The
want.
Flintstone bat.
Yeah, I don't want the skinny yellow one. I
The
want
one that sounds like a tom-tom. Bong.
exactly. That's the one that I would definitely want if I was gonna play.
Well, if they're throwing like that, yeah, you get the Flintstone bat.
Would you play in a league?
Yes.
I don't know if I could drag myself.
No,
to
it would be
league every
like
week.
5-on-5. 2 infielders, because the field wouldn't be all that big.
It can't be. It's wiffle ball.
Maybe like 2 outfielders, and then I guess you probably need a backstop person.
Maybe even just one outfielder.
Now you need 2 outfielders bigger, so 2 outfielders, 2 infielders, a pitcher and a catcher. That's 6. That's enough.
I mean, how far can you rip a wiffle ball
With a Flintstone bat. Bong.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking far.
Yeah, you could Bo Jackson that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. Belly flopping. Have you seen this?
It's as bad as toe wrestling.
Yeah, but you know how you win? This is one of those things that's like, okay, you had me on the think about it list. Belly flopping. What makes you win is you jump from 10 meters. Okay, so 33 feet, right around in there. The goal is from when you jump off there. They actually have a video and they measure it. Is to stay flat as long as possible.
Yeah, because it's
before
gonna
you-
fucking hurt.
before you bring in your cannonball.
So you're supposed to bring in the cannonball.
Yes. So they cannonball it at the end.
So you're getting nothing but a face smack here,
Yeah.
unless you tuck.
Right. I'm sure there's a technique to it.
I would say if you're going to do a belly flop, make it 20 feet and make them hold the pose. Kapow!
But then how do you win? Volume? Like at a distance, height? Like I don't know what
If you can
what
hold
makes
the
you win.
form, you know how like when people do like trust falls, but they bend because they don't really trust.
Right.
If you can keep the form,
I don't know, man. I had that as one that is I had that as probably the number one stupidest one. Now, one that I would like to see become a sport. Apparently, this is just a rec sport that's been going on. Have you seen kite tubing?
No.
Dude, if you like watching people get fucked up doing extreme sports, this is your sport.
I don't get it.
Pull
Kite
up a
tubing.
YouTube. So they put you behind a fucking speedboat on a tube, but on this tube, there's fucking a wing coming out, like on a hang glider. So when that fucking speedboat gets up to speed, you go up in the fucking air, and they're like whipping you around and shit, and they have a fucking course and shit that you have to get through. As soon as you lose the wind, like if they bank going around a corner and you lose the wind because it's not, I mean, it might be that wide total. Dude, people eating it from 30, 40 feet down into the water. Boom. It's ridiculous. That's a lot of trust in a friend of yours, too.
There is there's toe wrestling. I just mentioned that is a real thing.
Yeah, toe wrestling.
People line up their feet and fucking go to town.
You got to push each other's feet to the ground. Is how you do it. It's ignorant as hell.
There's trampoline
Yeah.
competitions,
My brother-
and they're
my-
called.
My brother's calling me. Should we take a caller?
Hey, what do you think the competitors in the trampoline competitions are called?
Tramps?
Trampolites.
Trampolites? Holy cow. You get,
I mean-
you get a free rainbow when you make that word up?
I mean, I think when you first say tramp,
Holy shit,
That's
that's
too much.
ridiculous. I couldn't even do it. A trampolite.
yeah.
That's ridiculous. Did you know
Hi,
that,
Kylie.
Did you know that cricket spitting is a sport?
Cricket spitting?
Yes.
Woo. I'm glad we had different lists.
Yeah. I mean, I think cricket spitting, I mean, I don't know if spitting anything. I'm sure that there's like watermelon festivals and shit where they spit watermelons across the fucking room. Like there's that kind of shit. But cricket spitting, I don't know. You got to actually put a full-blown dead cricket in your mouth. So they're not live, at least when you're doing it. So
Right.
that's a good time. But I wouldn't put that on there. So you already got Quidditch. I have 3 left that I didn't really know much about before I started reading. So dwarf tossing is a real thing.
Really?
Yes. It's actually been outlawed in like 70 countries. But there are certain countries that still do it. There are countries that are in Eastern Europe. I'm not throwing places under the bus. I'm just saying, but places like not Uruguay, Yugoslavia, places like that, to where this shit's like underground. It's like dogfighting, to where like it's illegal over there, but like they still have these tournaments, to where like, and there are dwarfs that get paid like shitloads of money. Like if you're like the aerodynamic dwarf that you know the mountain can throw 25 fucking feet, and they literally throw them at a target. It's like playing darts with a
That
little
is
tiny person.
wrong.
But think about it this way: if they had like chubby guy throwing, and somebody wanted to actually chuck me, I don't know. If you're paying me enough, and I got faith in you that you're going to get me there, I might give it a shot. You know,
I don't think any of that's happening. Why are they throwing little people around?
Dude, it's a real thing. Look it up, dwarf tossing.
I mean, it reminds me of the.
It's been going on since the Middle Ages.
Lord of the Rings, when the dwarf's like, toss me.
Yeah,
He's like, what? Toss me. Don't tell anybody. Or don't tell the one guy.
it's ridiculous. So that one I thought was kind of awesome. Just the fact that it actually exists and it's not just a joke out there.
Right?
Jace here, actually hold the pose all the way through the jump for the bell flop. See, exactly. Most people do chicken out. You should be going all the way.
That's what I said.
From 30 feet.
And you said, how are they going to judge that?
Agreed. Now, have you seen... We're going to get into my last 2.
Yeah. Brett, let's do this. Wadsworth used to have the toilet toss. Now, that was not pro, but it was definitely, I would guess you would consider it a sport.
Yeah.
It was every year, and I don't think they had the tank part, but they just had the commode part. And, you know, it's not the lightest thing. And they had a line.
So did you one-hand it like a discus?
Pretty sure you just grabbed it with one hand. There's probably some technique, maybe a two. I think the one-hand swing would be the best. But however they did it, and you couldn't go past the line, and you toss it, and wherever the dent was in the ground, they would mark that off, and the winner won something.
I hope a free toilet.
Something, yeah.
You know, maybe some Chipotle. You know, I don't know.
Here, we're going to give you some food so you can go use the toilet.
Yes. So there's a sport in Japan, real thing. People come out literally by the tens of thousands to watch this every year. It is botashi. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. If you've never seen this, whole bunch of dudes guarding a pole. Up at the top of that pole, there's a flag. So you got two groups, one on each end, and you have guys that are there to protect their pole, and you have guys that run to the other pole, knock their way through, and they have to build a human ladder to get one guy up to the top to get it. Dude, mass violence. It is absolute pandemonium. Like every video that I've seen of this.
You said Japanese, right?
Yeah, this is actually in
Yeah.
Japan. It's a real thing that they play
They're
this
more
over there.
bored than the Americans.
Dude, it is awesome. Like when you pan in close, like it just looks like people running all over the place. When they pan out, holy shit, it is amazing. Like, I don't know. To me, it's just an absolute crazy thing to watch. It's like the running into the bulls or something like that. Like you just know people are getting fucked up left and right in the middle of this thing.
Right.
Completely crazy. So I would be a fan. Like that's one of those things. When I look at that, I can get behind that as a sport because tell me that you wouldn't love to see the Americans versus the Chinese in a sport like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get all your frustration with each other out and some real hand-to-hand fucking combat. You know, large groups of people. I mean, I don't know what it would take to get on that team. Imagine the trials for that shit. Just badasses all over the place.
Wow.
And then the final one. No shit, dude. This is the national sport of Afghanistan. Okay? So you can imagine it's fucked up to start. And it's called Buzkashi. Buzkashi. Okay? This game is a bunch of dudes on horses, right? So kind of sounds like polo. Got a little bit of polo in there. They've got soccer goals. Soccer goals at both ends, right? One for each team. And they have like pitchforks that they ride around with, right? And there is a dead goat cadaver that has no head. The goal is to get this thing speared and get it into your goal. And so it's the best thing that's happened to soccer since soccer. These games go on until one team scores 3 times. Average length of a game, 18 hours. Longest game on record, 11 days.
So how many dead goats do they use?
I don't know how many they go through, but dude, that is some shit.
We're going into extra goats. Get more.
I mean, right? I mean, could you imagine if that thing's tied at 4 goats apiece? Like, all hell.
You have
breaks
to
loose.
win by 2?
Oh yeah. It's crazy though, as you read about like how many injuries and deaths and stuff come out of it. But like, it was actually the Taliban, of all things, the Taliban, when they took control, they outlawed it, right? But you know why they outlawed it? Not because of the horses or the people getting fucked up or the mutilating of goats for sport. It was because it brought so many people together. And by eliminating it, they thought that they were going to be able to divide the country. Again, another sport that's still played to this day, but like off the record.
So, yeah, I was going to say, there's some black market.
Right. Some underground goat slinging going on. So,
That's fucking weird.
yeah. So that's about what I had for my list. I mean, we get into other sports, but that's about it. That's about as crazy as I could find. And there's really only a couple mainstream sports I wish that they would fucking get rid of. So that's what I got for that.
Okay. Do you want, I mean, I don't have a harp. I could probably think of one. Do you have anything you want to harp about?
Any particular harp for this evening? No, I don't really have one. Actually, you know what? I am going to give you one. And this is going to lead into our next topic. Our next topic is mottos or quotes to live by or not live by. Some of them are completely stupid. Some of them are.
Some of these you don't want to do.
Some of them great information. The one that's going to be number 1 on my list, and it's also something that just about everybody on here is going to get a little chuckle at probably because they know the situation. I can't stress enough the phrase, don't shit where you eat, right? If you've built a career someplace, don't be doing drugs, being scandalous, anything like that at work, because when you do, it all goes away. You can have a career of, I'll just say, I don't know, almost 40 years and watch it just go down the shitter because you're making bad decisions.
With 2 hands, like Brett said.
Right, with two with 2 hands. Now, most of the people that do shit where they eat, they deserve the fucking shit sandwich that's coming with it, I guess.
That's right.
So That's number one, though. So that's my harp. Is people that shit where they eat and end up losing good jobs and fucking up things in their life and other people's life. Just quit being fucking douchebags.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
think I do have a harp.
Okay.
Traditions. People that break fucking traditions.
That break traditions?
Yeah.
What has to happen to qualify as a tradition?
Well, something that you do on an annual basis, on a whatever. It could be a family get-togethers. It could be talked about the toilet toss that the Wadsworth used to have at the Blue Tip.
Yeah.
All these things that used to be a certain way and then they just change them. I don't know. That pisses me off.
I agree. I think that people are too easy to let things go because you get so busy that you feel like it's just an inconvenience in your life.
Yeah.
You know, and that pisses me off.
And then that kind of goes into families that change a little bit.
Yeah.
And then maybe the matriarch of the family kept everybody together. She's not around or can't do it anymore, and then everybody just kind of floats away. Don't let that happen.
No, and even like things that you used to do with your friends. You get together for certain get-togethers. Certain times that you would get together, a poker game for this particular event.
Right.
Every year. And then all of a sudden, oh, these two people have kids.
You know
these
what?
two people are busy.
That'll roll right into an extension of the harp.
Okay.
It is traditions. When you do things like that, like host things,
Yes.
wink, wink, nod, nod,
Yeah.
and it's great, and you do it for a long time, you stop doing it, and you don't hear from some of the people that used to. It's like, why can't there be any reciprocation?
Right. And I feel like sometimes if you're the traditionalist, the one that wants to keep the things going because you enjoy tradition. I love traditions, by the way. It gets to the point where you almost feel like you're nagging people and like they turn it into work for you because they're too lazy to just go along with their life and invest in those things.
You try to do things to stay in touch.
Agreed.
And
Then they don't.
then they don't.
So don't fucking break tradition. Whatever you do for your holidays, that kind of stuff, don't give that shit up. Just keep on doing it.
Right.
Agreed. So we were just talking the other day about different mottos that
Wait, what's the motto with you?
right? We all quote movies and shit like that all the time, but there's sometimes that you hear things that really stick with you. You know what I mean? And sometimes for the right reasons, like don't shit where you eat because there's a lesson to be learned from it, right?
There's probably a million of these. I picked out just a few. You're probably going to bring up a lot more that are going to make me laugh, but
I don't know. I don't have that huge of a list.
I like the I don't know if it's Boy Scouts or what, but always be prepared.
Yeah.
I think that's a great one to live by.
Yeah.
But even if you know me well enough, I'm not always prepared.
Yeah.
Like I wish I was.
Right.
But it's a very good one to live by.
Yeah.
Most of us are not always prepared.
No, I agree. I have one that goes right with that one. It's the, and it took me till I was probably 20 before I heard it, even though it's an old saying, is an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's like the older you get, man, how many things that you let go end up blowing up in your fucking face? It's like, man, I just wish I would have taken care of that ahead of time, I think that we all go through periods of time where we're motivated for stuff like that. Something falls apart. You're like, all right, I don't want this next thing to happen, so I'm going to take care of this. I don't know. That's one that I think, trying to take care of shit, be prepared, ahead of time, some of that kind of stuff for sure. I agree with that. Some of them that we get, if anybody's ever seen Rounders, there's more good advice in that movie than probably 90% of the movies I've ever watched.
Let's hear it.
Just because it's a bunch of strategic people, that have ways of looking at things that I thought were really good. So it's like you can shear a sheep many times, but skin it only once. I know you've heard me say that a million times, but it's like, don't fucking take advantage of people,
Boom.
Or if you have a good thing going, to where like you have a good give and take someplace in your life, you got somebody that's got to hook up on something to where like you get to hook up once in a while, but you don't push it to the limit where they're like, okay, you're fucking done. Last one, you're fucking out. I'm not helping you anymore because you're a fucking parasite.
Exactly.
To where once in a while you got a friend that can get Indians tickets or Browns tickets or something like that. You don't call that guy every 3 weeks and be like, hey man, you got Indians tickets? Hey man, you got Indians tickets? Because it ain't gonna take long where he's like, no. But if like once a year he's got season tickets, you're like, hey man, I was kind of thinking about taking the family up. You got any games you're not going to? Most of those people are like, yeah, there's 81 fucking games. You can have game 71.
Right.
Have a good time.
But those kind of people that do take advantage, they need to just realize.
Yeah.
You get your back scratched enough, you got to start reciprocating, just like the traditional thing.
Yeah.
You got to do something for these people once in a while.
Right.
Even if it's a a $30 gift card to Applebee's so they can go have a din.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Do something.
I couldn't agree more. You got another one?
Yeah. No harm, no foul. I think that's kind of one we picked up from basketball.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I say that almost every other day, if not daily.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm like, hey, no harm, no foul.
Right. Well, it's kind of Fight Club. I love Fight Club. It's unique to have the ability to let that which does not truly matter slide. We all get hung up on so many little things, and everybody these days wants to be offended and pissed off about every little thing. If it doesn't really affect your health or well-being, fuck it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, people worry about all the little fucking details, sometimes to a fault.
Yep.
To where they don't fucking need to.
I got another one real quick here.
Yeah.
So this isn't a motto.
Yeah.
But it's a it's like a peace of mind type thing, or not. I shouldn't say peace of mind. It's like an attitude thing. Like, I have a joke that I say about 4 times every morning, and it's almost every single day. You know, you walk down the hall, you see somebody say, "Hey, how you doing?" And they're like, "Good. How you doing?" And when they ask me that, I say, "I'm amazing. Thanks for asking." And you know what? It makes a chuckle. It makes a laugh. And I guess maybe the I don't know. There's probably a saying behind that, like, I don't know. But for me, it starts my day off good, and I know I'm putting a smile on somebody else's face.
Right, being a little peppy.
Yeah.
Instead of good, and down the hallway you go.
Hey.
And it's all
Well,
said and done.
I think I started doing that because I'm like, you start to count, like, how many times am I going to go up to the hall and say, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah, it's hard not to do. It's hard not to be sarcastic to coming back. You know, somebody be like, "How you doing? Living the dream. How about you?"
That's why I started doing something different, because living the dream.
I say it all the time, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Or if I was any better, I'd be you.
right? We do have a gentleman that says that a lot. You know, I get a kick out of that one. But that's one of those things. Give an honest response to it. You know, if you're having a shitty day, say it, but just in that way.
Or
How you doing? Not as good as yesterday.
Or how about this? How you doing? Oh, you know.
Yeah, like
We both been here 20 years. You know.
right. But okay, but if you've been someplace 20 years, there's good days, there's bad days, and there's the days in the middle that are most of them.
I think that most people, when they've been at an establishment for a long time, I don't want to say it's
Like
hard.
a bar.
No, I'm talking about like a place of employment. I think that they may when you walk through the doors so many times,
Yeah.
it might be hard to find positives.
Yeah.
Even though the place might be a good place to work.
Sure.
But, I think it's all in your head. I mean, for the most part, if you've got a job that, pays decent and keeps the bills paid,
Yeah.
you should be kind of grateful.
Yeah. One I found looking up that I don't know that I ever heard, but it was the risk you take today will pay off tomorrow. That ain't always true. Sometimes the risk you take today leads you to not having it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I also we hear that there's always old people that are like, hey, living in the old folks' home, there's a lot of conversations about the things that they wish that they would have done.
Oh, for sure.
Looking back on their life, like, oh man, I could have been this, or oh, I could have done that. To where I could have started a podcast.
Yeah.
Not me, but you know what I'm saying.
You could have.
Things like that. I don't
Just
know,
would have
man.
taken a little longer.
It would have taken me. I'd be lucky to have show 1 done right now. I'd be like, I got the computer on. There's a camera sitting here. I don't know how to hook them up.
Okay, so I just thought of it. Going back to the you were talking about the Indians tickets and things.
Yeah.
Or tickets or whatever.
Yeah.
It's that one is don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Oh yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah. Well,
And that's such a weird saying.
Right.
It's like the gift horse.
well, it's kind of like the bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush. See, you're such a child. I do love that about you.
When you say bush, I just think about trimming the hedges.
Right. So ridiculous, but it is true. Like, sometimes you got to be happy with what you got.
How about this one?
Yeah.
And this is one that you think about occasionally, but you're like, I can't do that because then I would have no money and I would be homeless. But live every day like it's your last.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you on that. That's one I can't go with that, because if I lived every day like it was my last, I would be broke, divorced.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I ain't a tiny guy now. I don't even want to know what size I would be if my entire mantra was live like I'm gonna die tomorrow.
Oh.
I mean, red meat and beer would be the entire life of me. You know,
That would be every hour.
right? Give me a Depends and let me go.
That depends.
A little bit more serious one. I do like the don't ever let your talent outweigh your ambition. Yeah, being a product of hard work, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I mean, at the same time though, I do love work smarter, not harder. If there's an easier way to do something and get it done right, then you're good. Now that's not being an advocate for half-assery, you know. So for sure on that one.
I've got one that this one might be a little bit abrasive, but I forget. There was some movie. I think it was a Stallone movie. Might have been Lock Up or something, where he's like, "Don't trust anyone," and DTA, "Don't trust anyone."
Sure.
And obviously, there's a lot of people you can trust in your life.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that you shouldn't trust.
Agreed.
And I think that now that's not like a full scale don't trust anyone.
Would you
but
say that 80% of the people you meet in this world you shouldn't fully trust? 90?
probably almost 95. I mean, you think about the scale of the world
Right.
and the scale of your circle.
Sure.
Yeah, probably 98% of the people you shouldn't trust because
Look back over your life and think about all of the people that you have considered friends. Out of that number of people, which for most people, if you go from like younger age up to if you're middle aged, that's a probably pretty decent list. You start checking off the people that have fucked you one time or another, it's a pretty decent list probably.
yeah.
Now, people aren't perfect. I don't mean that way.
But it goes back to trust.
Right.
And as soon as they do something that you can't, you're going to be like,
Right.
all right. I mean, I'm not going to banish them, but
Right.
I'm just not going to tell them these things.
I agree. I don't disagree with that one at all. There's a couple that I don't like that people use a lot. I hate when something bad happens and somebody's like, "Well, everything happens for a reason." No, everything doesn't happen for a reason. I mean, something caused something to happen. So if you mean it that way,
That's
but
a tough one.
It doesn't mean that you're going to learn some magical rule or some great life lesson because this happened.
And I hate to get religious, but that kind of goes in the whole thing. It's God's plan. Sometimes I don't know if there's a God's plan. I mean,
Right. Again, we don't have to go down that road, but like a lot of what it says in the good book is that like he ain't exactly running everything down here. He turned that over to the other guy, to see exactly how we're going to react to everything.
right. I think you're right. Not everything happens for a reason. It's an easy thing to say when something fucking hits the fan.
Right.
You're like, hey, dude, shit happens for a reason.
Right.
I think that's maybe a lack of better words.
I agree completely. If you're not first, you're last. Dude, I can't help it. I use it all the time. And
That's great.
But it's true though.
It's comedy though.
Right. It is comedy, but like, it's one of those things. I love to throw it out any chance that I get. How soon can you get that here? In 3 or 4 days? Oh, I can get it in 2. Well, if you're not first, you're last. Because you can't get it there.
Yep.
Like shit like that. The little ones like that are the ones that I get kind of a kick out of sometimes.
Yep. And then this is not. I don't believe this is our buddy John Morgan's quote, but it was his quote from our show.
Yeah.
Is there's two kinds of people. What did he say? The strong and the weak. I don't know. I say that to my kids.
Yeah.
A lot. I'm like, listen, you're sitting here whining about stupid shit.
Right.
There's two kinds of people. Strong and the weak. Which one do you want to be?
Right.
I mean, I have said that more than once to them.
Right.
And what do they say?
Sure.
But what do they say?
I don't know. What do they say?
They say, I want to be the strong. I said, go then quit fucking whining.
Right. Yeah, no shit. It's to each their own. No. I hate that saying. To each their own. No. Not to each their own. There's a shitload of cases in life where that just doesn't fucking pertain.
How about me casa su casa? That's not true.
Yeah.
Maybe for like 5 minutes to get the fuck out.
Right. Welcome to my house. Whatever's mine is yours. I'm going to go take a shit in your bathroom, put on your t-shirt, and I'll be in your bed lounging out watching some Netflix. All right? Cool. See you in a bit.
Well, how about I just slide into your bed and take a shit in it? You said it was mine. I feel like taking a shit in your bed.
Right. I like your Jeep. I'm going to bring that back Thursday. Is that cool?
The fender might be kind of bent.
Right. So I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a mental block, though, because I know that there's tons of these that we're forgetting that we hear all the fucking time.
Try again.
Yeah. No.
If you don't succeed, try. I mean, I like
if
that
you don't
one.
succeed, if you don't succeed at first,
At first.
try again.
Yes.
Okay, but if you try again, and then you try again after that, at some point, if you're not making progress,
No.
then try something else.
I'm gonna say
that's what it should be. If at first you don't succeed, try and then try something else.
Well, no, try it differently because they do say that what is it? Insanity is
doing the same thing
Doing
over and over again, and
yeah.
expecting different results. I disagree with that.
I don't.
If you pick up a sledgehammer and you hit a wall with it, the first hit, it might not go down. If you hit it 67
I don't think
times,
that's where it
might go down.
comes from.
I'm just trying to call it out for what it is. There are certain things that you can
Like,
do again and again and again.
Being in the computer realm,
Yeah.
I try something and I might try it 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, I got to do it a different way, otherwise, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
That is where the sledgehammer does not come into play,
Well, you just turn it off and turn it back on again.
and it works.
There's one. That's a life rule to not ever fucking
Oh,
live by.
how did I forget that one? Have you tried turning it off and on again? You know what a funny joke?
Fucking hate that
You know,
so
here's a
bad.
funny joke.
What?
We have a new where we work, we have a new help system, help desk.
Help desk.
And in the tag,
Mm-hmm.
in the tag, you can customize it. It says something like, "Hey, we're on this," and we're laughing back and forth. I said, "Dude, you got to add." And while you're waiting, have you tried turning it off and on again?
Did they put it in there?
Yes.
Fuck that, man.
Or it says, "Have you tried restarting it for?" Or try restarting it first. Something like.
Oh, I hate it. Whether it's your phone, your internet, your cable, your
But-
computer,
There is some magic behind it.
it's stupid. Just because you're shutting down all the systems that are fucking your shit up.
I've only seen bits and pieces of it, but there's a show called The IT Crowd. Have you ever seen anything?
Yeah.
Yes.
The IT crowd?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so the guy, he answers the phone and he has this tape recorder because he's so tired of fucking answering the phone, and it says it has a recording saying, "Hello, IT, have you tried turning it off and on again?"
Yeah.
And he just puts it on the recorder. I
know
know you
what-
don't think it's funny, but it's hilarious.
You know what I hate is when you got that friend to where you're talking to them and they're close enough friend that you're willing to discuss certain things about your life, and you use the phrase "I wish." Like, man, I wish this day would end, and that friend looks at you and says, "Well, why don't you wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up first?" Why don't I shit in your hand? You tell me how full that is. Like, are you kidding me right now? I hate that. The first time I heard that, I'm like, this is stupid. You know, how is that the case? You know?
I have said that on occasion. Have I said it to you?
Yeah.
I have.
I don't know. You probably have.
Why don't you? No, I probably wouldn't have said that to you.
Right.
I would have probably said, "Why don't you fucking make some coffee already?"
Yeah. So here's giving one away without saying any names to protect the innocent. I don't know if it's something to live by, but I couldn't help but laugh my ass off the other day at work. There's a guy that works second all the time, and because of situations, he's currently on first shift.
Right.
And he used the person's name, so I'll just use a blank in there. He said, "So why is it that blank got a blowjob and I'm the one that got fucked?" Because he has to work first because
Oh.
the other person's no longer with us. So I like that. I also like the I should say I hate the you can pick your friends and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. Dude, anytime somebody says that, I want to punch them in the face immediately. Growing up, I feel like we heard that a lot.
Yeah.
It's just ignorant. I can't handle that. Maybe that's not something you live by, I guess.
I had one that I said when I was like a spunky little like 21-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, it was you've heard of "Don't beat around the bush."
Yeah.
Then I added, "But you can aim for the belly button."
Yeah, see, dude?
That's
I can't,
funny.
yeah, but that's funny in a circle
Because when
of
you
like
say-
3 people that
Yeah.
aren't going to be offended by it.
Yeah, but when you say "Don't beat around the bush,"
Right.
just aim for the belly button, and then it turns into something funny.
Right.
It's comical. The things I've done for comedy, Jake.
I guess. So, I don't know if we have any more. You got any more on your list?
I've got 10 more.
10?
Just kidding.
Okay. Do you have any more?
No.
Okay. We'll come up with some more. We'll get some more out there at some point in time. I'm just saying. But so the last thing that we're just going to hit on real quick,
Get it? Hit on?
hit on real quick, is for the AAA All-Star game, they used a robot umpire to
This is
replace
bullshit.
humans. They went back and reviewed the film afterwards, and they basically said that it was on point. That balls and strikes were perfect, that outs and safe at all
I
of the bases.
read this article, and they still had to have an umpire back there because of what was it? It calls at the plate, obviously.
Yeah.
And something else. If there was
like a malfunction.
if there was a malfunction, or well, I guess it would be a malfunction if it didn't know if it was a ball or strike.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I mean, to me, I don't love it. I think it fucks with the game. I mean, I understand that it's trying to get things 100% right all of the time. Pro sports in America today are games of inches all of the time. but I'm just not a fan of it. I feel like it's one of those things that if we get started with it, there's going to be a trickle-down effect, to where before we know it, we're going to have 8-year-olds competing with umpires back there, and everything is so stringent and regimented instead of any of it just being fun.
Now, I just got done talking about tradition.
Yeah.
And if nothing more in this world is traditional, it's the fucking baseball game.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you what, I fucking love it.
Me too.
Because watching
Wait, you love what?
the robot umpire.
What?
Because watching baseball, and I watch a lot of baseball, nothing pisses me off more, even if it's against or for my team, when the umpire calls a strike and then he goes in and he does let's say he doesn't call a strike. And then he knows it should have been. And then he makes up for it with a shitty pitch. I'm like, no. No, it fucks up the game. Strikes should be strikes. Now, but that's as far as I want him to go.
So you just want one behind the plate?
A robot calling the strike zone, but I want a guy behind the plate, and then the regular umpires, wherever they need to be. They've already got the replays, and they have to decide, pick and choose. The only thing I don't like about the replays, they look down into the dugout for the replay guy to be like, yeah, do it, or no. I think that part should be removed.
Yeah.
The coach needs to be like, okay, challenge it. You don't get to look down and have the guy look at the TV real quick.
But it happens in football all the time. It happens all the time in football.
Okay, well, it's not football.
I'm just saying.
My point is, football is different because they've got guys up in the press box that have monitors that can rewind real quick.
But that's what I'm afraid of though too, is I don't want to trickle into other sports. I don't want a robot calling pass interference.
No, but how about this? To go off track a little bit, NBA's allowing review.
But for what? For fouls?
Because
Because that's like balls and strikes, man.
Yeah, I didn't find out the details, but I heard that they're implementing some sort of review.
I'll look forward to seeing what it is. I mean, they already reviewed 3-pointers, shots at the buzzer, foul.
No.
flagrant fouls.
Coaches review.
A coach's review, like whether a ball went out of bounds
I'm
off of somebody or
Something. Probably, you know what? It probably would be like out of bounds because sometimes that goes unchallenged and it's like, hey, or goaltending.
Yeah.
There could be some calls that they're like, no, we need you to look at that.
yeah. Goaltending though, but they already do some on goaltending, don't they? If it's in the last so many minutes of a half or
Yeah, that's kind of weird too. They'll go back. Like it happened
2
kinda-
minutes ago.
It's kind of like hockey. They'll add on time, or soccer. They'll add on time.
Yeah.
They'll go back and be like, well, we're going to take that peek at that.
Yeah. Hockey, they do it instantaneously. Hockey, if there's a review, it's done immediately, and then they're back on the ice. And they only get like one coach's challenge a game. If they lose it, they're out.
I'm all for coaches challenge. I think that it helps the game be one less excuse.
Yeah. I don't know. I agree, but I'm glad there's a limit on it. I like the way the NFL's is. I think that you should have 3, and you use them until you're out, until you've lost them. If you get it right, you don't lose a challenge. If you get it right, you don't lose a challenge. To where you can challenge. That's what I don't like about the NFL. You can only challenge twice. So if you challenge twice and you get them both right, you can get a third one. If you
Right.
get the third one right, you don't get a fourth one.
I love that though.
At some point, if you're getting fucked by the refs time and time again, and you have to be like, challenge, I win, challenge, I win, challenge, I win. Like, you shouldn't lose them if you keep getting them right.
Well, how about this? If you win all 3, you get a bonus 3.
I don't know. I just
mean,
saying. I just.
I
Think,
kind of agree with you. If you get the first 2 in the NFL and you get the bonus one and you have to use the third one and you get it right, you should still get another one.
Yeah, I don't know. But next thing you know, we're gonna have judges for everything, and I mean robots for everything. I don't want it. I'm against it.
The purity of the balls and strikes is the last thing that an umpire has over the game. That's it.
Okay.
The only problem that I have about this, you're not going to ever see a manager get ejected again.
And that's some of the greatest moments.
It is. That's my one objection because it's almost like the fight in hockey.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen all that much, but when it does, you're like, yeah!
Right. But like there's times too that like that coach wants to get thrown out. He wants to light a fire under his team's ass and go to bat for him, and you know what I mean? Like it removes that away from it a little bit.
Well, I guess there's still maybe a couple opportunities when
I don't know.
they're hitting batters and things.
Yeah.
And they're gonna fight, and yeah, you could have a coach come out and get all hot over that.
I don't know. But that's what I've got for tonight. That's our live show.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Robot umpires, huh?
Yeah. So sorry we had to throw it together last minute. Hope you guys enjoyed the topics a little bit tonight. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a regular episode of The Harper. Just so you remember, next week is
That's right.
episode 1 of The Gallows, and it's still under the Harper banner. So hopefully you guys check that out and enjoy it.
Get your ass over to iTunes and hit the subscribe button and leave us a
Review.
review.
That'd be great.
It's
Hey.
on the tip of my tongue.
Hey, thanks for hanging out through the bitter end with us, guys. We appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon.
Pip, pip.
Cheerio!